went to the magical place of open information and pressed random, and this is what popped up. Sheffield Park is a football pitch, also known as a soccer field to us Freedom Bros, in the English county of Northumberland. Alright, video over. Alright, I guess I'll go a little bit further after all. Let's all avoid touching grass by talking about some grass instead. The guys that do the sod trotting here are the Berwick Rangers, a football team founded in 1881 or 1884. There's debate there. And that's up to 141 years of ball kicking as of the writing of this video. The Rangers have played in multiple leagues throughout the years, currently playing in the Lowland League, a feeder league for the Scottish Professional Football League. Think of it as the minor leagues in baseball. Back to the Rangers themselves. They became affiliated with the Scottish Football Association sometime around 1905 and joined the Scottish Border League that same year. Interesting note, it was for a time the only club outside of Scotland to be in the Scottish Professional Football League, but they got relegated in 2019, rest in pieces. Their connection to Sheffield Park dates back to 1954 when they decided being ball-kicking vagrants kinda cramped their style. They would own Sheffield Park up until 1985 when financial woes forced them to sell it to the local bureaucrats, aka the local council, who then immediately leased it back to the Rangers, which essentially means the Rangers went from being homeless to homeownership to renting, all while living in the same house. Neat. But other things happen at Sheffield to include speedway racing, which I only just now learned is essentially NASCAR but with motorcycles too stupid to bother having more than one gear. And I say that with absolutely no hate or disrespect, because they also have no brakes, and that makes a relatively slow 80 miles per hour infinitely more exciting than man-baby Hicks driving around in circles all day just a fist fight at the end. I mean, be a gentleman and just get to the fist fight already. The speedway team that calls Sheffield home is the Berwick Bandits, and they too have an interesting relationship with the park. From 1986 to 1981, they zipped around Sheffield Park happy as can be until disagreements with the Ballin Rangers led them to return to their nomadic lifestyle for the rest of that season. Side note, shout out to whoever is going around writing these Wikipedia articles for using the word nomad so effectively multiple times. Cool. Back to the point. After an extended period of not being in Berwick, the Bandits returned to Berwick and Sheffield Park in 1996 and have apparently been rather successful since. I always love a happy ending. But if people going around in circles with reckless abandon doesn't turn you on, how about dogs? You sick fuck. I mean greyhound racing. For a glorious 4 years, there were doggo races, but, much like many things in life, football fans ruined it by buying out Gordon Grant's lease, which is better than burning cars at least. Who's Gordon Grant? Fuck if I know. His name doesn't have a link in the article, and googling Gordon Grant Greyhound Racing led to a Facebook post about a Greyhound racing owner that is also an asshole, but said asshole is actually named Gordon Elliott, not Gordon Grant. Not cool. Alright, this is supposed to be about a park. Sheffield Park itself has a capacity of 4,099, with 1,366 being seated. Shout out to the Ducket, which is not just my favorite word from these articles, but also a small covered terrace. The park itself gets its name from a landowner and local butcher, ironic since I'm about to butcher his name, William Shell Dodds. Maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong, you can't prove it, sue me. The history of ownership is a bit of a storied one, as alluded to earlier. I mentioned before that the football club owned the park, then sold it to their future landlord, and, well, said landlord eventually also leased the property out to the greyhound racing. We know how well that one went. Why? If not obvious by the fact that the football club had to sell the park, they were in some financial troubles and at risk of dissolving as a business. That's when the lease went to the greyhound racing instead and caused a bit of an issue for the football club when the Speedy Dogs decided not to play nicely. So the footy fans came in and saved the day, because if you're important enough to be mentioned in a Wikipedia article but not important enough to have a Wikipedia article yourself, do you really even deserve the lease? Who am I kidding? Wikipedia didn't exist back then. But I would still rather watch a football game over dog running, even if I have to accept that I've now called soccer football over 3 times in the span of a couple of minutes. Oh god, they're going to rescind my citizenship at this rate. The article goes on to mention that the field has some turf, and apparently the peak attendance on record is 13,365, which I can't figure out how that is when the capacity is 4,099, and my guess is that standing around the park and not in the park still counts, which is why I would like to claim the record for the largest attendance at a block party, because by that logic I'm counting my whole town, or even the whole state for that matter, and I simply refuse to hear an argument otherwise. That's all I have to say this week. I hope you enjoyed this little shitpost of an educational video. I intend to start uploading these weekly on Thursdays, so go ahead and subscribe if you are bored enough to want to see more. And I have all the articles I opened, not just referenced, linked in the description. And please tell me everything I got wrong in the comments. If I get enough of them, I will upload special videos correcting mistakes I made and link them in the videos that are corrected. After all, I wouldn't want anybody failing their research project because they incorrectly cited my 50 IQ video.